The Golden is one of the breeds created during the dog-loving Victorian era. The breeds in its background probably included a yellow retriever, the Tweedwater Spaniel, wavy and flat-coated retrievers, and a red setter. Golden Retrievers were first registered with the American Kennel Club in 1925 and were officially recognized as a breed in 1932. Since then, they've established themselves as versatile companions, hunting dogs and working dogs. Goldens are found doing search and rescue, animal-assisted therapy, arson detection, drug detection, and assistant work for people with disabilities. Their energy, enthusiasm, and intelligence makes them well-suited to learning and performing almost any task. The Afghan Hound is from Afghanistan, but little is known of his early history or how long he's existed. A drawing of one of the dogs sent home by Thomas Stewart Broughton while he was in India in 1809 was published in a book of letters in 1813, so the breed has certainly been around for more than 200 years and likely very much longer. Studies of the canine genome indicate that the Afghan descended from one of the oldest types of dogs. The dogs in Afghanistan were found in several different times depending on the region they were from. Dogs from mountainous areas were more compact with darker, heavier coats, while desert-dwelling dogs were more rangy with coats that were lighter in both color and volume. They were used to course fast-running games such as deer and antelope, as well as hares, wolves, and jackals. Hunting in partnership with falcons, they flushed quail and partridges for the falcon to bring down or for the hunter to shoot. British military officers brought the dogs back to the West after being posted to the India-Afghanistan border, and the dogs unfortunately died out in Europe during the World War I because food shortages limited the breeding and keeping of dogs. But breeding began again in 1920 when some desert-time Afghans were imported to Scotland by people who had been stationed in Balochistan. Some of the mountain-type dogs were sent from Kabul to England in 1925. During the same decade, Americans imported some of the Afghans from Britain. Ask anyone about the defining characteristic of the Golden Retriever, and the answer you will always get is temperament. The hallmark of the Golden is his kind, gentle, eager to please nature. He craves affection and will seek it from strangers as well as his own family. Goldens are adaptable and people-oriented, and those characteristics are at the top of the list of reasons why people love them. Unfortunately, the breed's popularity has meant that careless or clueless people have begun churning out Goldens without any attempt to maintain their sweet, gentle disposition. Shyness and aggression can be problems, leading to fear-biting or unfriendliness towards people and other dogs. Proper Goldens love everyone, but that love for people will often translate into jumping as a form of greeting. Basic early obedience training is a must for these big, rambunctious dogs. Fortunately, Goldens are very easy to train, and a small investment of time when the dog is young will pay off when he's fully grown. He will readily sit on command, walk on a leash without pulling, and come when called. If not trained, socialize, and exercise daily, the good-natured exuberance of Goldens, especially as adolescents and young adults, can be overwhelming and even frightening to small children, despite the dog's best intentions to be friendly. Choose a Golden as a family dog only if you are prepared to supervise kids and the dog when they are together and make sure everyone plays nicely. It's normal for puppies to chase and bite and play, so you need to teach a Golden pup how to act around kids as well as teach the kids how to play properly with the dog. Before we continue, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button as it would mean a lot. Thanks. The Afghan Hound is aloof and dignified except when he's being silly. Aloof doesn't mean shy. He should never be afraid of people and is usually not aggressive towards them. He takes his time getting to know people outside his family. People who are fortunate enough to be allowed into a circle of friends will experience a dog with an exuberant nature and a wicked sense of humor. Afghans do everything to extremes. They're drama queens and food thieves, bossy and mischievous. They have a high prey drive, and although they may get along well with cats they were raised with, outdoor cats should fear for their lives when the Afghan springs into action. The Afghan is an independent thinker and is happy to do what you ask as long as that's what he wanted to do anyways. He's highly intelligent and learns quickly, but he won't always respond to your commands or better yet, requests. He's thinking about it. Maybe he'll do it later, or not. This can make him frustrating to train and even more frustrating to compete with. Afghans have done well in sports such as agility and lure coursing, but only when their people have extreme patience, a never-ending sense of humor, and a good command of positive reinforcement techniques to lure him into compliance. The sport in which the Afghan excels, of course, is the lure coursing. If you're able to let him participate in this activity, you'll be rewarded by the sight of his breeding and heritage in action. Any dog, no matter how nice, can develop obnoxious levels of barking, digging, counter-surfing, and other undesirable behaviors if he is bored, untrained, or unsupervised. Any dog can be a trial to live with during adolescence. Start training your puppy the day you bring him home. Even at 8 weeks old, he's capable of soaking up everything you can teach him. Don't wait until he's 6 months old to begin training, or you will have a more headstrong dog to deal with. If possible, get him into puppy kindergarten class by the time he's 10 to 12 weeks old and socialize. However, be aware that many puppy training classes require certain vaccines like kennel cough to be up to date, and many veterinarians recommend limited exposure to other dogs in public places until puppy vaccines, including rabies, distemper, and paravirus, have been completed. In lieu of formal training, you can begin training your puppy at home and socializing him amongst family and friends until the puppy vaccines are completed. Talk to the breeder, describe exactly what you're looking for in a dog, and ask for assistance in selecting a puppy. Breeders see the puppies daily and can make uncannily accurate recommendations once they know something about your lifestyle and personality. All dogs have the potential to develop genetic health problems, just as all people have the potential to inherit a particular disease. Run and don't walk from any breeder who does not offer a health guarantee on puppies, who tells you that the breed is 100% healthy and has no known problems, or who tells you that her puppies are isolated from the main part of the household for health reasons. A reputable breeder will be honest and open about health problems in the breed and the incidents with which they occur in their lines. Golden Retrievers look beautiful, but are they healthy? An individual golden certainly can be, but the breed as a whole can be affected by a number of health problems. At the top of the list of health concerns in this breed is cancer. Some veterinarians go so far as to call Goldens cancer retrievers, and treatments for this disease can be emotionally and financially devastating. It's not known to what extent all these forms of cancer are genetic or exactly how they're transmitted from one generation to the next, but the sky-high rate of cancer in Golden Retrievers is suspected to be at least partially inherited. Goldens also suffer from a high incidence of the painful genetic hip deformity known as hip dysplasia, which develops when the head of the thigh bone doesn't fit properly onto the hip socket. Serious hip dysplasia can lead to crippling arthritis and requires costly surgical treatment. Golden Retrievers can also have genetic elbow deformities. Eyes are another problem area in this breed, so make sure that the parents have been examined by a board-certified veterinary ophthalmologist and certified by the Canine Eye Registry Foundation. Before individual Goldens can be included in the Canine Health Information Center (CHIC), the Golden Retriever Club of America requires them to have hip and elbow evaluations from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals or PennHip, an OFA cardiology exam, and an eye clearance from the Canine Eye Registry Foundation. You can search the OFA and CHIC website for yourself to see if a pup's parents are listed. In Afghan Hounds, health problems can include hip and elbow dysplasia, juvenile cataracts, and bleeding disorders such as von Willebrand disease. Ask the breeder to show evidence that both parents have been certified free of juvenile cataracts by a veterinarian and have a hip evaluation of excellent, good, or fair from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals. For an Afghan to achieve CHIC certification, he must have Orthopedic Foundation for Animals OFA or PennHip certifications for hip, an OFA thyroid evaluation, and an eye clearance from the Canine Eye Registry Foundation. Breeders must agree to have all test results, positive or negative, published in the CHIC database. A dog need not receive good or even passing scores on the evaluations to obtain a CHIC number, so CHIC registration alone is not proof of soundness or absence of disease, but all test results are posted on the CHIC website and can be accessed by anyone who wants to check the health of a puppy's parents. A good breeder will be able to discuss the prevalence of all health problems in her dog's lines, those with and without genetic screening tests, and how puppy buyers make an informed decision about health risks to their dog. Don't fall for a dishonest breeder's sales pitch. If the breeder tells you she doesn't need to do those tests because she's never had any problem in her lines, her dogs have been vet checked, or any of the other excuses bad breeders have for skimping on the genetic testing for their dogs, walk away immediately. Careful breeders screen the breeding dogs for genetic diseases and breed only the healthiest and best looking specimens. But sometimes Mother Nature has other ideas and a puppy develops one of those diseases despite good breeding practices. Advances in veterinary medicine means that in most cases the dogs can still live a good life. If you're getting a puppy, ask the breeder about the ages of the dogs in her lines and what they died of. Remember that after you've taken a new puppy into your home, you have the power to protect him from one of the most common health problems in dogs, obesity. Keeping your dog in an appropriate weight is one of the easiest ways to extend his life. Make the most of your preventive abilities to help ensure a healthier dog for life. It takes some dedication to live with a golden retriever. The golden's profuse coat requires regular brushing and bathing to remove debris and mats. While all dogs shed, goldens do it with the same enthusiasm they bring to swimming and retrieving. You can keep it under control with daily brushing to remove the dead undercoat, but if shedding is a deal breaker at your house, this is not the breed for you. Like most retrievers, goldens love water. When your golden gets wet, and he will, give him a thorough freshwater rinse to remove chlorine, salt, or lake muck from his fur, all of which can be drying or otherwise damaging to the coat. Keep his ears dry to prevent infections, and use an ear cleaner recommended by your veterinarian after he goes swimming. The Afghan Hound has long, thick, silky hair with a fine texture. The coat does not need to be clipped or trimmed, and the dog wears it in all its glory. The finishing touch is a top knot of long, silky hair. Grooming is an essential part of living with an Afghan Hound. Plan to brush and comb the Afghan Hound's thick, silky hair 3 times a week to prevent or remove mats and tangles, and bathe him as needed. You may want to invest in a professional dog blow dryer if you bathe him frequently. The Afghan sheds moderately. The more often you brush him, the less hair you will have falling off the dog and onto your floors, furniture, and clothing. The rest is basic care. Trim the nails as needed, usually once a month, and good dental hygiene is important, so brush the teeth frequently for good overall health and fresh breath. Check the ears weekly for dirt, redness, or a bad odor that can indicate an infection. If the ears look dirty, wipe them out with a cotton ball dampened with a gentle ear cleaner recommended by your veterinarian. It's best to introduce your dog to grooming at an early age so he will accept it gracefully. Alright guys, which one do you think you'll get? Tell me down in the comments.